I've never been a big fan of personal jabs. 8 words. That's all it took. Not a press release, not a statement drafted by a PR team, just Scottie Scheffler, standing in front of reporters ahead of the 3M Open, answering a question he didn't have to answer. And in doing so, he said more about leadership in professional golf than a 2-shot penalty ever could. This wasn't just a rules dispute anymore. By the time Scheffler spoke, it had become something bigger, a referendum on how the biggest names in the sport treat each other when the cameras are rolling and the stakes are highest. If you want breakdowns like this one, the ones that go past the scoreboard and into what's actually happening between these players, United Flow is the channel for it. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and tell us in the comments who you think handled this the right way, because this story has 3 very different answers. Here's how we got here. The Open Championship at Royal Birkdale was supposed to be remembered for its champion. Instead, for several days, it was remembered for a 2-stroke penalty. Bryson DeChambeau entered the second round in strong form, carding rounds of 67 and what looked like a 4 under 66, putting him in solo second place on the leaderboard. Then, after the round had already been completed, R&A rules officials brought him back to the par 4 fifth hole. Video review showed DeChambeau had stepped on and flattened long fescue grass while lining up his shot from behind the ball. Grant Moir, executive director of governance for the R&A, explained the Standard afterward. What the prohibited action here is that the player mustn't move, bend or break any growing or attached natural object. DeChambeau maintained he was simply reading his line. The ruling stood. He was assessed a 2-stroke penalty, turning his round into a 68 and dropping him from second place down the leaderboard. His prior bogey on the hole became a triple bogey. He still made the cut at a major for the first time this season, finishing tied for 14th, his strongest major result since finishing runner-up to Scottie Scheffler at the 2025 PGA Championship. DeChambeau didn't hide his frustration. He went straight to the range afterward, skipping reporters entirely, and the delay pushed back the following day's tee times. He later said he believed that without the penalty, he would have been right there for the claret jug, insisting that 2 different holes could have changed the entire outcome of the tournament for him. But while DeChambeau's penalty dominated headlines, the actual champion of the tournament almost became a footnote. Ryan Fox of New Zealand won his first career major at Royal Birkdale, closing with a 2 under 68 for a 10 under 270 total, edging Cameron Young by a single shot after making a 12-foot birdie putt on the 72nd hole. At 39 years old, Fox became the 3rd oldest major winner in the last 10 years, trailing only Phil Mickelson at the 2021 PGA Championship and Tiger Woods at the 2019 Masters. He also became just the 3rd New Zealander in history to win a men's major golf championship. Fox had entered the week with 28 career major starts and 0 top 10 finishes. After sinking the winning putt, he told his caddy he was done playing it safe on the final hole, saying he'd rather take it on and live with the outcome than settle for a playoff. It was one of the more remarkable stories in recent major championship history, and for a stretch, it was competing for attention with a 2-shot ruling from 2 days earlier. That's where Rory McIlroy entered the conversation. Speaking to reporters, McIlroy made his feelings about DeChambeau clear without hesitation. "I won't pretend to be up here and defend Bryson," McIlroy said. "I'm not particularly fond of him. I think a lot of it's performative. I think a lot of it's for attention." He didn't stop there. McIlroy also criticized DeChambeau for not signing his scorecard promptly after the round, saying the delay affected everyone around him. To hold the tournament hostage like that, and to have all of us, players, volunteers, everyone waiting on him to depart, I didn't feel like it was a great look. McIlroy said. The reaction split fast. Some viewers praised McIlroy for saying what plenty of players were reportedly thinking privately. Others felt he'd crossed a line, moving from criticizing a rules situation into criticizing DeChambeau's character. That distinction is the entire tension at the center of this story. Was this a debate about a penalty, or a debate about a person? If you're the type of golf fan who wants the full picture, not just the highlight, but the context behind it, this is exactly why United Flow exists. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next breakdown, and drop a comment below. Do you think Rory's honesty was fair, or did he take it too far? That question was still hanging over the sport when reporters put it directly to Scottie Scheffler ahead of the 3M Open. Scheffler didn't dodge it, and he didn't pile on either. Instead, he offered a completely different framework for the entire controversy. "I've never been a big fan of personal jabs," he said. It wasn't a defense of DeChambeau's actions on the course. It wasn't an attack on McIlroy either. It was a redirection, an argument that criticism of a ruling and criticism of a person's character are not the same thing, and shouldn't be treated as if they are. Scheffler expanded on the reasoning behind the penalty itself, showing sympathy for DeChambeau's situation while still not disputing the ruling. "All I can really say is I think maybe we need to be a little bit more strict in the way that we are policing guys, but it's a little bit of a balance because you've got certain guys like a Bryson who every shot he hits is going to be shown on TV," Scheffler explained. "When you have camera angles that are far away, things can look different than they do when you're right there." Then came the line that separated his position entirely from McIlroy's. "All I'll say is Bryson, I've known him for a long time, and he's a lot of things, but he's definitely not a cheater." This wasn't the first time Scheffler had made that distinction. He had defended DeChambeau's integrity before, separating the specifics of a rules violation from an attack on someone's honesty. That consistency is what made his 3M Open comments land the way they did. This wasn't a reaction crafted for a moment. It was a position he'd held before the controversy even reached its peak. 3 players. 3 completely different approaches to the same situation. DeChambeau leaned into the controversy, staying vocal and visible rather than retreating from attention. McIlroy chose to speak plainly, even knowing it would draw criticism, framing his comments around protecting the tournament's integrity and the people affected by the delay. Scheffler chose de-escalation, steering the conversation back toward competition and away from personal judgment. None of the 3 approaches was hidden or softened for the cameras. Each player said exactly what he believed, on the record, in front of reporters. What makes this moment significant isn't the 2-stroke penalty itself. Penalties happen in every major championship. What makes it significant is that it forced 3 of the most prominent players in golf to reveal, without prompting, how they think leadership and criticism should work inside their own sport. As the FedEx Cup Playoffs approach, this dynamic isn't going away. The way each of these 3 players responded under pressure in real time, with reporters waiting for a reaction, may end up being remembered longer than the ruling that started it. So here's the real question: Rory, Bryson, or Scottie, who got it right? Drop your answer in the comments below. Like this video if you want to see more breakdowns like this one, and hit subscribe on United Flow so you're here for everything the rest of this season still has coming.